In this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips to lower your golf score. You can use any of these tips to lower your scores, but firstly, in the comments below, let me know what tips you've used to shoot lower numbers. Tip number 1 is covering as much distance off the tee, but keeping the ball in play at all costs. To keep this as simple as possible, always think how much distance there is between one hazard and the next. A hazard can be anything from water to bunkers, thick rough and trees. So on this hole specifically, there's a hazard on the left that is a clear penalty shot. However, if there's trees on the right, there's other room past those trees, so I know anything right to centre of the fairway essentially means my ball's going to be in play 90% of the time. Therefore, I'm going to choose a target that allows me to go nowhere near that left hazard unless I hit an absolutely awful shot. A good shot will finish right centre of the fairway. Some shots will finish in those trees, which is okay. Other shots are going to finish right of the fairway, and that's going to always keep the ball in play. Let's give that a go. So I'm choosing my target line. I'm aiming right centre in the middle of the fairway. I'm just going to commit as hard as I can and accept where that ball finishes, knowing that if my strategy is correct, I will be in play off this tough tee shot. Perfect. So rule number 2, focus on controlling your mental energy. What I mean by this is focusing on not the score, not the last shot, but the shot in hand, giving 100% to every single one and accepting that is the best you can do in that moment. Perfect example here, I've hit a half decent tee shot that's come no more than 2-3 yards off the fairway, and I've got a really buried lie. It'd be very easy for me to get very annoyed from that, but the key is I've got to just focus on this shot and give 110% to hitting the best possible shot I can do. So what I'm saying is make sure you control your mind, you focus on the task in hand and give 100% to every shot that you've got, whether that means you hit 110 shots or 70 shots. You're still giving 100% over each one. So rule number 3 is know your yardages. Really obvious and common tip. However, most people play to a specific number. The problem with golf, and especially amateur golf, if we don't reliably hit the ball enough to play to an exact number. So what we need to do is think of our longest hit and our shortest hit. The shortest hit would typically be a slight misstrike, something that comes out at slower ball speed, a bit more spin, and often flares off to the right. The longer yardage would be when we flush it out in the middle, maybe pull it a little bit or compress the ball more than normal. If we know the difference between those two, then we can judge which club to hit based on where the trouble is. If we've got a front flag, do we go with that longer club? If we've got a back flag, do we go with that shorter club? And we can trust those yardages and accept the outcome with a bit more authority. So tip number 4 is having a clear routine and reliable system when holing out. So holing out typically is going to be around about 4 foot and in for amateur golfers. You can consistently hole out from there at least probably 70% of the time or above. You're going to lower that scoring opportunity significantly. What I mean by a clear routine is having a clear system to read the green reliably. The most important thing with shorter putts is keeping it online, so that's making sure we strike it consistently out the middle and we have a square face at impact to the line. So all we need to focus on is having something that you know you can do repeatedly. So you're not going to just change your routine every time you miss a putt. For me, I want to focus on having a nice strong base so I can keep my body still, make sure my ball position's consistently right, keeping my arms and body close and being able to feel like I keep my head still and almost focus on striking it out the middle and keeping it simple where I can consistently hit that hole and give the chance of holing the putt. Tip number 5 is having a reliable shot around the green. Now we've got to be realistic here. As amateur golfers, we tend to not practice lots. So we need to just basically have a golf club that around the green you feel confident and comfortable with most types of shot. In an ideal world, you'd use different clubs for different ball flights and different lies. However, you're not practicing much. We just want to have something that we can trust, even if it's not perfect, even if it's not always technically correct. I go with a 54 because that allows me, if the ball's sat down, I can open up face nice and easy. If it's a normal lie, I can play square, and if it's a bare lie where I want to play that chip and run, it's very easy for me to shut that down. So with this shot here, for example, I've got plenty of green to work. I've got an easy lie. I know that I can just play pretty much a basic movement, even though in some ways I could play this with a number of different clubs, but this is my go-to club. I know it's reliable, and I should be able to get this in a zone that I can up and down. Hopefully you found these tips useful. My one bonus tip is to make sure you're physically strong enough to move in the golf swing how you want to and mobile at the same time. If you want to know a routine to do, watch this video next and let me know how you get on.